For a moment, I hold my belly. I count the self-betrayals. For every time I pushed through pain. For every time I said yes when my body screamed no. For every time I believed being a good woman meant suffering. I did everything I was told to do. I checked every box. And still, I ended up on the phone with a friend crying for the third time that day, wondering, how did I end up here? I didn't choose the rules. I inherited them. I didn't realize how deeply those broken scripts guided my every decision, how much I was willing to sacrifice. My grandmother wore sacrifice like a sweater passed down by her mother and her mother's mother. Cook, clean, disappear into everybody else. And the women who didn't do that, they got talked about, gossiped about. There seemed to be only one way to be a woman. Swallow the word no, be agreeable. So I planted my feet in my mother's footsteps, going over the top for everyone, but never for myself. I spent years in relationships trying to earn love the way I'd been taught, through self-sacrifice. I was the woman cooking feasts for every boyfriend, rice, chicken, ribs, a whole spread. And the only part of me that got fed was watching them eat. Me cooking, me serving, me watching from outside my body like an innocent bystander. And 4 or 5 years ago, a past relationship ended. I blamed myself. I'd given all of me. Every part of me was an offering. There was nothing left, not even a crumb. I remember being on the phone with a friend, falling apart. I did everything I could, still empty-handed. And that shook me. Everything I'd been told to do was a life designed for someone else, not the woman I wanted to become. So I decided I was going to live on my own terms, not my mother's, not my partner's, but mine. I've been writing for years sporadically. When that relationship ended, I went full throttle. I also took pole dancing. And something in me broke free in that studio. I felt things I'd never felt with a man. Freedom. The more I showed up for both, writing and dancing, the clearer the patterns became. I started seeing every script implanted in my head. What is a good woman? Sacrifice, emotional exhaustion, no boundaries, people pleasing at the cost of yourself? That's not a good woman. That's a recipe for unhappiness. I could never go back to that. Once I tasted joy, I couldn't put the chains back on, regardless of how fine a man was. It almost cost me my life. Depression, depletion, giving everything in relationships that ended with nothing for me, with nothing to show for it, but tear stains on my pillow. If you're pouring everything into someone who gives nothing back, you don't have enough time or energy to build your own life. Not after a soul-sucking day at your 9 to 5. Not on weekends. Not for the dreams that wake you up at 3 a.m. If you're not taking care of yourself, nothing else in your life works. Trust me, I know. So what is being a good woman costing you? And is being a good woman worth the cost of losing yourself?